bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are continuing our Lavender Aloe series with this beautiful Lavender Aloe lotion. As you can see, this lotion is really thick, but it has a gorgeous lightweight consistency. When you massage it into the skin, it vanishes almost immediately, leaving kind of a dry touch, almost powdery finish, so your skin feels really soft and moisturized, but not at all greasy, which I love. Our water phase features lots of soothing and calming and moisturizing ingredients. The bulk of it is lavender hydrosol, which is where we get our lavendery scent from, and aloe vera juice. To that, I've added some colloidal oatmeal and panthenol, both of which are wonderfully moisturizing and soothing to the skin, which is perfect for winter. Our oil phase is 25%, and the two starring ingredients are vitamin A rich apricot kernel oil and gorgeously creamy murumuru butter. I've chosen Polawax as our emulsifying wax, but you could use something else. And just a reminder, if you want to use something else for pretty much anything, I have covered a lot of information about substitutions both in the blog post below and in the encyclopedia on Humblebee and Me, so make sure you are checking out those resources to learn more. 5% cetyl alcohol contributes some gorgeous body to this lotion and also helps really give it that gorgeous kind of silky powdery finish. Our cooldown phase is pretty simple. Of course, we have our preservative, and then we have some hydrolyzed oat protein. I thought that would be a nice complement to the colloidal oatmeal, and it does help up the moisturizing awesomeness of this lotion. If you've ever made lotion before, this will come together in an absolute snap, and even if you haven't, this is actually quite a good starter formulation for making lotion. There's not a ton of ingredients, and it's just a really lovely end product, and so if you've never made it before, I think you will make this and then suddenly be all like, I love making lotion. But anyways, come on, let's go get started. We'll begin by combining the ingredients for a heated water phase in a small heat-resistant glass measuring cup. So you're going to need 30 grams lavender hydrosol, 28.5 grams aloe vera juice, 10 grams vegetable glycerine, 2.99 grams colloidal oatmeal, and 2 grams powdered panthenol. We're also going to add a very tiny amount of some water-soluble dye. You can see this says black, but I found that when you use a very tiny amount of it, it actually comes out a beautiful dusty purple. This is optional if you don't want to do this. Make sure you are referring to the blog post linked in the description box below. That's how much I'm going to use for this lotion. Not much at all. This stuff is very potent. The idea here is that the dye is present at 0.01%, but my scale can't measure out that small of an amount, so I just put in a super tiny amount. Now I'm going to take a moment to weigh our water phase and note that weight so we can replace any water lost to evaporation during heating. Up next, we'll weigh out the ingredients for our heated oil phase into a second heat-resistant glass measuring cup. So you're going to need 6 grams of Polawax, and if you need a substitution, please make sure you're reading the blog post linked in the description box below. 8 grams apricot kernel oil, 5 grams murumuru butter, and this is the refined version, which is quite a bit softer than the virgin version, and 5 grams cetyl alcohol. Up next is heating everything through. So I'm going to put both of our phases in a water bath. So this is a wide, flat-bottom sauté pan that has about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to go put this on the stovetop over medium heat until everything has melted through and heated to the same temperature. Once everything has heated through, you can remove your water bath from the heat and then remove your measuring cups from the water bath. Up next, I'm going to pop our water phase back on the scale and top it off with some preheated distilled water to that number we wrote down earlier. You'll notice that this is a little bit cloudy. That is because of the colloidal oatmeal. That is totally okay. Up next, grabbing our immersion blender, popping that in there, and blending. We're gonna start with a few short bursts before working up to a full blend. All right, so that was about 3 minutes of blending. You can see that it has come together nicely, and it is quite uniform visually, but it's still also very thin and very hot, so we're going to leave this to cool for a while before coming back and blending it some more. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. Starting to get a wee bit of thickening and also a wee bit of separation in here, so we're gonna blend this some more. Okay, so that's been about another 2 minutes of blending with a sort of halfway point scrape down of the blender, since you can see it is definitely accumulating some lotion in there. One of the things that I'll also do when a lotion starts to get thick like this when I'm blending it is I'll turn off the blender, pull it up, and then kind of use it to scrape down some product and then resume blending. You don't really want to be pumping the blender up and down with it on because you can work a lot of air into the lotion. So I find turning it off and just kind of gently giving it a plunge can help scrape down the sides of the measuring cup without incorporating a lot of air bubbles. Okay, so you can see that this is gorgeous and thick and creamy, but it is still pretty warm. So I'm going to weigh out our cool down phase while we let this continue to cool. So our cool down phase is pretty simple. We're going to need 2 grams of hydrolyzed oat protein, and for substitutions, please make sure you're reading the blog post linked in the description box below, and 1/2 gram of liquid germall plus, and this is our preservative. Once the lotion has cooled down to the point where the measuring cup is cool to the touch, we can incorporate our cool down phase. So the heat sensitive ingredient in here that we're most concerned about is the preservative, which has an upper temperature limit of 50 degrees Celsius. And so human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. And so if this feels cool to the touch, we know it's cooler than 37 degrees, which definitely means it's cooler than 50 degrees. So that's an easy way to check that without needing to involve a thermometer. So I take a scoop of the master batch of lotion, add it to our cool down phase, and then blend until smooth with a little whisk. Once that's thoroughly incorporated, we're going to stir it back into the parent batch of lotion. With that all done, all that's left is to package it up. For packaging, I'm going to use this black screw top plastic jar from Humblebee. It's a 100 milliliter jar, so it'll hold this batch nicely. And there we go. So we just made a beautiful lavender aloe lotion. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and please make sure you are referring to the blog post linked in the description box below for a lot more information about this formulation. There you'll find links to places to purchase all of the ingredients, information on substitutions, scaling, shelf life, and a whole lot more. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.